because since Thursday last week, I only saw and spoke to the first person yesterday when the lawyers got here. And you are now the second that I am seeing. I'm truly grateful for your effort today and for everything that you have provided for our survival here. But more importantly, for the message that you yourselves are today. Even if you didn't speak, you are a strong message as to what is going on in the country. And later on, of course, for the very kind words and very strong encouragement that your messages have given me, and I'm sure also all Ugandans through the media that is here. And I'm glad that you insisted and literally fought to get the media here, because their main effort is to make sure that whatever we are doing and whatever is going on is not relayed to the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, as your own words have indeed portrayed, there is a deep, deep crisis in the country that is unescapable. We have characterized this crisis since last year, because some people now are trying to say that this is a situation caused by the war in Ukraine. I beg your pardon. When we declared the crisis in the country and published a booklet on the Ugandan crisis, which is out there, that was in October last year, that there was a very deep crisis. We characterized it as the crisis, as the failure to thrive crisis. Failure to thrive crisis, FTT. Embeera ey'okulemererwa okweyimirizaawo, that people cannot survive on their own as they should. Tuli mu ggwanga where abantu tebasobola kweyimirizaawo. So this failure to thrive crisis is going to decimate our country, kill people. It's killing people on a daily basis, even now. It's killing people. And unless we stop it, we will get finished. It's raging. The failure to thrive crisis is raging. The government report itself, last week, government report, Minister of Health report, reported that 14 million Ugandans have mental illness. 14 million. And these who are mentally ill are generally adults.
Above 18.
Yes. Now, so if the population of Uganda below 15 years is 22 million, below 15 years. So the 14 who are mentally ill are 14 of the 20.
So we're only about 6 million.
So 2 of every 3 people you meet are mentally ill. That is the situation of our country today.
Some even have accidents.
You know?
Yeah.
No wonder indeed there are accidents and so on.
Mad.
You meet people on the road just speaking on the alone, you know. And The report, Ministry of Health report, went ahead to show why people are mentally ill. The reasons. First one was depression, arising out of the terrible situation in the country. The other one was stress. So the ill health in the country is part and parcel of the failure to thrive crisis. Domestic violence, which is now raging all over the country, is simply because people in the home can't agree on how to use the very little resources that are there.
That's it.
So you have violence, people killing each other in the homes and so on and so forth. So this crisis is real, it is very serious, it is growing deeper every day. Now the question is, how did we get here? How did this crisis arise? And very great to see you, Honorable Florence Kahugo. You are most welcome. From Kasese, those of you who don't, the woman MP for Kasese, the one who is in the shoes of Winnie Kizza. Yeah, so how did we get here? We got here because the wealth that our people would be depending on has been deprived of them. You see, when we talk about capture of the state, some people think that it's something theoretical out there. I've been saying that I was personally a part of the force, the military force that captured power in Uganda in January 1986. I was part of them. I am RO 098, officer of the UPDF, number 98. When we captured power in 1986, we said that the military, NRA, has captured all the power of state in Uganda and vested it in the national resistance movement. This power was meant to be transferred back to the people. The reason we went to fight was to liberate that power which had been grabbed still by armed people, to liberate it and take it back to the people. So when we captured it from those who had it, our task was to transfer it to the people through a transition. And that's why NRM was a transitional arrangement. NRM was never a party, it was a transitional organization. That's why NRM had all parties in it. UPC was part of NRM, DP was part of NRM, CP was part of NRM. Those were part of NRM because it was a transitional arrangement to shift power to the people, so that all these organizations which were in NRM could then seek for that power from the people. That did not happen. Up to today, NRM is holding on to that power, using the same military. So there was a failure of transition to hand over power to the people. So power still belongs to those who are armed. But additionally, those who were armed, ourselves, were also captured. The military itself, which had captured power, was also captured by now its commander. Museveni and his family captured the military. So the military and all these people who are now being, this rain is on them. They are policemen all around. Now they are in trouble with the rain. Power is organized and dispensed through institutions. So when you capture the state, you capture the state institutions. So all the state institutions in Uganda, that's why we say they are captive, including your parliament. It's a captive institution. Yeah. The judiciary is a captive institution. All the institutions within the executive are even more so captive. The police, the military, the electoral commission, the Bank of Uganda, all of them are captive. So what happens then after capturing the institutions is to capture the wealth. So the wealth of our people was also captured comprehensively. Since 1986 up to now, the wealth of Ugandans has been captured. We are talking about the coffee bill, which is the coffee, I don't know, report of the coffee deal,
coffee agreement,
which is going to be discussed in Parliament. That is simply one of the mechanisms of capture, taking the coffee into their control. And this has been progressive and comprehensive. Coffee is no longer the biggest export. The biggest export now is gold. Last year we exported gold of $2 billion and coffee of less than 600 million. Who owns the gold? It is the family. So they want to own the coffee. They own the tea. They own the, all the wealth. First, they started with the wealth that we had created jointly together as public assets. Yes, as public assets. The public assets, which they said they are privatizing. Some people thought they were shifting them from government control to private control. No, they were privatizing them to themselves. The commercial bank is now Stanbic Bank. Who owns Stanbic Bank? Taking the coffee. So the properties of Uganda were now taken by whoever has power. And power is in one family. So they hold all power. You pay taxes, all the money goes in the taxes, very high taxes. But it does not come back to you. You can imagine the mockery that is going on about parish model, that they are taking money to the parishes. But where does all the money come from? All the money in Uganda comes from the parishes. All of it. No money comes from anywhere else except the parishes. My parish here. The money that is used now in Congo, in where, is from the parishes. The money they steal or the stealing has been going on is from the parishes. So the little that they are taking back now, they are taking with pomp and drumming that we are bringing you money. Of the very, very huge sum they took, they bring now maybe 100 million and people are supposed to clap. So this process of impoverishment of our population has been going on now comprehensively for nearly 4 decades today. And that's why the crisis is there. Crisis of survival. People cannot have health care. They cannot take their children to school. They cannot have food on their table. Now they cannot even wash their clothes, maintain their hygiene or whatever. That's how deep the crisis is. So this crisis has only been now additionally fueled by COVID lockdown and now the international situation. If there was a government that was functioning as a people's government, part of the money that was being collected all this time should have been set aside as a reserve to cater for the hard times that are there. Because everybody knows that hard times will come. You may have an earthquake You may have floods in the country. You may have all kinds of unforeseen things. The real problem why this government is now panicking is they don't have a reserve of anything. No reserve in the central bank. No, the reserve in the central bank was emptied in 2011 when there was that walk to work. Part of it was a result of emptying the reserve. 2011. There is no reserve of fuel, there is no reserve of food, there is no reserve of anything. They are operating a hand-to-mouth operation. So, what we were saying on Thursday before we moved out is that the country must now deal with this crisis head on if we are not to really be decimated as a people. We must confront this and make demands, real demands for changes, urgent demands. And we've said that, you know, the little money that is there now should be applied to save the people. There is absolutely no reason why we should have more than 80 ministers. The United States of America, which has a GDP more than 1,000 times of Uganda, has 15 ministries. 15 ministries, 1-5. And 15 cabinet ministers. Of course, they have some people to help them. That's the economy, the largest economy in the world. A highly indebted, poor country. Highly hippic, highly indebted, poor country. You have 80 ministers that you are maintaining, and every minister with the soldiers, with the what, with the people to open the way. So we must demand that public resources are rationalized to save people. Cut wasteful expenditure. Wasteful expenditure must go. We've been saying RDCs. Why should we have RDCs, deputy RDCs, who are doing the work that COW can do? COW is appointed by the central government to administer a district. If there is any job that the RDC can do, add it onto the COW. Let the RDC go to add on the cassava that is being grown in the country, and the matoke and whatever. Let that money, because I heard that in the budget that you are passing for next year, you have provided for 375 vehicles for RDCs. Procurement of vehicles. And then they have the recurrent expenditure and what, and all this. But these, I'm just raising examples of wasteful expenditure. We are saying, let our forces come back from Congo. You passed a budget to make roads in Congo. To make roads in Congo, they have already, I think, started making roads in Congo. That may be a good thing, maybe. But when you have solved the crisis first, at home, you cannot leave your home burning and you go to extinguish other people's fires. We are now constructing water for Congolese in Congo, constructing water holes in Congo. You know, ADF can be fought here. Did Museveni go to demands can be made now? Demands of cutting wasteful expenditure, demands of bringing back the stolen money, and some was even stolen in the current budget. that money is due for research, is due for what, it should come back and sort of this. And then if that is done, if we reduce expenditure, we can reduce taxes. And taxes must be reduced as quickly as possible on the essential commodities so that prices go down. Because it is the taxes that are keeping these prices up. We can reduce prices without interfering with the macroeconomics if we reduce expenditure. So let's reduce taxes. Let's invest in the schools so that our kids go back to school, who are at home. Let's pay the doctors so that they are in the hospitals and they have something to use. So this is the wake-up call that we think should go on in the country, telling people, by the way, these things won't change unless we make the demand. And we just wake them up. We say, wake up, you are dying, you can save yourselves, wake up. That is all we intended to do. We didn't even intend to walk. No, I tied my loudspeaker on the vehicle. I will go talking. Wake up. Yes, we will just go, wake up. To Jinja, wake up. To Soroti, wake up. Yes, we just want people to wake up and demand that power gets back to them.
And the children of the security are even
suffering more. Yes, of course they are. So that is, now, one does not need any authority from anybody to do that. Found in your car, There are people, even when I'm seated here, I hear people saying katunguru. Katunguru, rukumi akatunguru. Why are they arrested them? From here, I always hear the cars passing, with the messages. So I just want to move around with my message. That is all. Wake up. Things are terrible. Wake up. That is all we are demanding for. And nobody will stop us. We shall fight until they allow us. We will not allow to be intimidated. So I'm glad that the platform, the very, very important platform you have in Parliament, can take up that kind of message within Parliament, outside Parliament, so that our people can move. Secondly, apart from the wake-up call, I think the country should also know that the ultimate solution for this is the actual return of power to the people. Not because there has been some confusion sowed on which this Mhozi project is a transition from gun rule to people rule.
Yeah.
It's a transition, not succession. The country must have a transition. And once the transition happens and power is in the population, Uganda is a country of young people. So if they want to have a young leader, nothing can stop them because they have the power. But the first thing is to have the power shifted from gunmen to the population. And that too must be part of the wake-up call. So wake-up call has two strands. One, the immediate survival, which can reduce prices, but secondly, the transition. That is what we are running with. Now, finally, since I have this rare opportunity to talk to, very critical minds in Parliament, I think Parliament right now should focus on two things that are urgent. One is what is there today, the coffee. Yes. From what I have heard, I think the intention is to have some cosmetic changes on it. On taxation, on I don't know what, but in largely they say it goes on with the foreign investor. It is this, I think, must be resisted with everything that we have. Government does not own coffee.
Coffee. It's for the farmers. Yeah.
Government does not have a single garden of coffee. Coffee belongs to farmers. Already farmers, they were selling their coffee through the International Coffee Organization. Government, without consultation with the owners of the coffee, withdrew from the ICO, only later on to say that now we have brought some coffee. And if they want to proceed with it, we must fight it with every tool that we can get out of our armory.
Yes.
Secondly, which I think the country is more or less, they are trying to take coffee. But all those are nowhere compared to the value of the oil, which, as you have all been hearing, they actively claim
my oil.
It's their oil, and it is. Now, that oil can be useful in transforming the country or forever destroying it. Is a very sharp cutting edge. Two things important on that oil. One is the governance of the oil in order to benefit people and not to benefit the captivity of people. If that oil flows with the kind of governance apparatus as it is now, where anybody who speaks is put in prison, where you have no say, where they use money to take forces to advance their interests in other countries without the knowledge and authority of Parliament, which is what has been happening. Then that oil will not only continue to enslave Ugandans for a very long time, but it will cause trouble for the whole region. But secondly, one of the disasters of fossil fuels is environmental degradation. Now, so oil provides benefit, but it provides a big risk. In order to manage that risk, one needs an accountable system of government, highly accountable system of to manage the flip side of the oil. You saw what happened in Nigeria, the destruction that has taken place in Nigeria because of lack of accountability in terms of environment. But I think we must put clear benchmarks that must be met before funders come to destroy the area. We all start raising our voices to put those caveats, the better. That is, I think, all that I can say regarding the situation in which we are, I am very optimistic, like the Honorable Olanya here, Gilbert said, that the signs in the skies, the gathering of the clouds is very clear, that change is imminent. I heard about that. The crisis of the people that a government cannot respond to is in itself an indication that that government can no longer sustain itself. And so I think what we now need to really focus on is how to manage the transition. And in doing that, I would like to appeal to you leaders, especially you in Parliament, that managing a transition needs maximum unity. You cannot manage a transition in a partisan way. It can't happen.
Yeah.
We need maximum unity in procuring and managing the transition.
Yeah, that's right.
And therefore, I hope that you actively reach out to all formations to see that we move together. Especially now our brothers who are in the unity platform, national unity platform, there is absolutely no reason why we should not all move together to procure and manage a transition in the country. I hope, I have never ceased to engage all players. We have been having a forum called Unity in Diversity under the Honorable P.K. Semogerere, who is, I think, the grandfather of our opposition politics, and it's a good initiative to try and bring all forces together. Because all these we are talking about, if we are united, we can procure change here within 1 week.
Yes.
It can't take more than a week before we procure change here today. So let's get on with it. Let's rally all forces. Sometimes some people think that when we say we should move, they think that Besigye will be leading us. I don't need any leadership at all myself. Nothing. Those who want to lead, let them come and lead us. I will be there fighting. I will be present. I will be there fighting. If your problem is leadership, come and lead us. But lead us in the fight. You know? not anything else. Let's go. The direction is clear, so let's unite. It cannot be leadership that holds us back. No, because this is not a time to look for leadership. It's a time to look for the country to start with. And I'm always able and willing to fight behind anybody to achieve our objectives. Thank you very much. Please keep up the spirit. They will soon or later go. As you heard, we have also instructed our legal teams to fight in the courts. We shall move the diplomatic community, which is also helpful in funding these, people who break the law. You cannot bring taxpayers' money from Europe, from America, to fund outlaws. To fund people who are violating their own citizens' rights, killing people, imprisoning people illegally. It's not correct. So we shall mobilize in all fronts and The moment they open the gate, I will be behind them, waking up people.
Doctor does not move anywhere. You must do it. The moment you don't do it, they will say you are anti the first son. You must be eliminated, and you will go. People have become so fearful in this country. They cannot see anything. But there is time for everything, as the Bible says. If God allows, we shall all see a smoothful change of power in this country. Let us tighten it up, let us be hard, and let us be very serious in whatsoever we are doing. I know the time will come, Ugandans will enjoy their country. Let them do whatever they feel like, but we pray for the good Lord to help us. Otherwise, thank you so much, Doctor. I am grateful that I've seen you in good health. I pray for the good Lord to continue keeping you in good health. Right now, you are being kept here. They are not allowing people. They are not allowing you to move, but the freedom of a man is more useful. We thank you. Struggle continues. We are with you, and outside there, we are praying for you day and night. May the good Lord bless you.
Thank you very much, honorable members of parliament, the members of the press, and very much so, I would want to thank in a very special way members of the public and members of the Front for Liberation. Dr. Kizza Besigye, it is my singular honor to sit with you on the same table and discuss the future of this nation and all those that are in tandem to that intended liberation. For those that are seeing me for the first time, my name is Honorable Court Moses Jr. Bitek. I'm the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kyoga County. And in the 11th Parliament, I am the de facto Deputy Speaker of Parliament. I am the people's or the hoi polloi representative of the people of Kyoga. And famously, I'm known by my name of Voxe Populi Voxe Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. And this reckons with the activities that are being managed by our chairperson at the time. Our chairperson, we are ashamed. We are ashamed as young Turks in this country, for we have not risen to the occasion and let the struggle that you did start about 35 years ago still be that which you are still at the forefront. Behold, from today henceforth, I command the young Turks of my generation to pick up the mantle from where Dr. Kizza Besigye has put it. But we need him for his guidance while we front the intentions of the people. I am aware that you've been incarcerated here for about a week or so. But the rights that are being violated are inherent. It's only incumbent upon the state to protect, respect, and fulfill. They cannot take any bit out of it. But if they choose to do, I sit on the Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs of Parliament. I equally sit on the Committee of Human Rights. I intend to use my influence in the House to persuade, to cajole, and implore members of Parliament that did think that my chairmanship of the House would have granted the intended sanity in our politics of this country to rise up and defend the needs of the common man like the Kano is doing at the time. We have had a triple-digit inflation in this country. And this is not only common and peculiar with the common man. It is touching every sector of this country. It doesn't care about the party you hail from, the region you come from, but it's a pinch on everybody. And the only solution to this that the current regime listens to is civic action, which I rightly associate myself fully to. So in furthering such intentions, from today henceforth, should you need manpower, count me. I may be weak and feeble, walking to support myself, but I am fully capacitated by all my mental faculties to dislodge the ill, the premature, the vague, and half-baked operations that are being commanded by the regime at the time. I want to assure you, Dr. Kizza Besigye, that I am glad to be part of this community. I'm domiciled in Kasangati. That is where my fixed place of abode is. That means we are joined by our geography, and we are joined by our good intentions for this country. So today, all these members of parliament did deem it fit that I be your chief guest. And they brought me as a gift to you. And if I were to be that perfect ultimate gift for you, my only choice is to say, I do accept. And I do. I do it firmly, unequivocally, and I assure you that if there is any intention that is engendered towards the need of the common man or the oi polloi, count me as one. Members of Parliament, I am with you on the floor, at committee, and then on the streets. Be informed that about 2 days ago, I became a member of the bar. And becoming a member of the bar, that means I'm adding value to the revolution. So all the legal processes that must be undertaken by the people in the struggle, count me for all the pro bono services to be done by the struggle. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. I will now ask Sam to introduce yourself, and then the Honorable Vice President. You need to introduce yourself first.
Samuel Lubega Mukaku is my name, Vice Chair Designate Uganda, PFTO, the Red Card Front. Mr. Chairman, I'm very, very, very grateful for the members of Parliament, especially Honorable Muizuchi and Honorable Anna Deke for the mobilization. The panel that you had wished, the panel for members of Parliament who want to join the front, is growing day and night. Courtesy of all these members, Honorable Lanya was in the north mobilizing, and I'm sure it will grow and be joined by the Kajindas of this world who have been members of Parliament and still regarded so. Thank you very much, comrades. This is, we have the bonus that even work is now in earnest, as Dr. Besigye, yes, and we are going to pursue it, but at the same time, Besigye must be released. If they want, we shall invite the whole country here for them to know that our commander must be released.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Doctor, when we were coming, when they insisted on us walking, we said, but you said we can't walk to work. Why do you want? They said, but you are walking. We said, no, for us we are on work. It is our job. So really, they are powerless. But we want to tell you that, and we have assured them that we have just come to find out how you are, but we are just going to come in big numbers. Not just members of Parliament, we are if with what you are doing. They only want to associate with you and work with you. The only challenge they have is they know everybody is annoyed. So if you get out, people will join you. And rather than fight you, they should go and fight what is annoying the people. Otherwise, they are dealing with symptoms. I want to invite our Vice President.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here this morning. Our chairman, my name is Adeke Ane Baju, Deputy President in the Forum for Democratic Change, Member of Parliament from Soroti District, and also a member of PFT, serving on 2 committees, the Women's Brigade and that one of Diplomacy. So it's a great honor to address you this morning, and the members of the press and the members of the public. I bring you warm regards from the Forum for Democratic Change. Kind regards from our party president, who is mobilizing in northern Uganda. He will also be here. Chairman, we have members of parliament here. We would have had a number bigger than this, but because of several engagements, we received apologies. But all of them were willing to come here, and they will continue to come here to demand that you be freed. The right to freedom of movement is an inherent right. It's a human right recognized under Chapter 4 of our Constitution, and you deserve it, Doctor. You deserve it, as we all deserve. And it is our freedom and our right to enjoy our freedoms that are God-given to us. So we hear you speak about capture, and everyone here knows that we have seen capture. We feel capture. We are all captured. We are members of parliament. Even that space is captured where we are. But we must continue to use the positions that we have, the opportunities that we have, to dismantle this system, this unjust system that is sustaining itself on the blood and sweat of Ugandans, that has overly burdened innocent Ugandans. We come from areas that are stricken by poverty, Doctor. Poverty that you see. We see the face of poverty every day when we see our people. They cannot get quality education. We lost 2 years. Our students have not been acquiring knowledge. As a country, it is such a huge loss to us. Second to that, even those that now should be going back to school cannot return to school. The other day, the New Vision, which is a government newspaper, which, you know, many times may not really speak truth to power, reported over 6,000 students failing. 600,000 students failing to register for primary living examinations. What a loss to our country. In these years of capture, we have lost generations as a country, which we may never be able to rehabilitate. And so, we must rise to the occasion as leaders of this country. The struggle that you have for so long been the face of is not your individual struggle. It is the struggle of every Ugandan. And everyone must struggle to free themselves. Every Ugandan in every place. And this should be our message to all the people that believe in us, that we all are captives in this system, and we must free ourselves from this. When the price of kerosene and fuel is high up in the sky, everyone feels the pinch of it. When our children cannot go to school, everyone feels the pinch of it. And this is the lawless state we have found ourselves in. Anarchy is the order of the day. The small disbursements that we make to the police force are the ones they use to further tie us in this horrible situation that we are in. So, you have for so long been the face of this revolution. It should not remain the same. Dr. Besigye, we are here to join you on the front line. The regime, the junta, must know that there are many faces to this revolution. The women who we represent are a face to this revolution. That woman who cannot access a health center, cannot access medical care, is in this revolution. That father and mother who cannot take their child to school because they cannot afford. They are insisting that the agriculture is the backbone of the economy with these adverse weather conditions. Where we come from, people invest 200,000 in a garden where they get 50,000. Our people have been condemned to poverty for life. Because everything that has been tried by the regime can no longer work. If they have even been trying at all, which they have not. They have just been enriching themselves. 30 years of enriching a small class of people. and entrenching themselves further in power, closing every avenue. There is no free space in our country. Religious institutions are captured. Political spaces are captured. Civil society is captured. Academic institutions are captured. We must struggle to free ourselves. And this struggle is for all of us as individuals, because we feel it. There is no more space for free expression in this country. It is very unfortunate, and we are here to stand together with you, Doctor, and say that our revolution is very much alive, and we are moving it forward. We shall not relent. We shall not sit back. If police can deploy to block roads for a birthday celebration, how dare they stop us from coming here? If they go and secure people who are celebrating, why would they try to disturb us when we are having our own peace? We must freely exercise our rights. People were running to celebrate a birthday, people floating. I don't even know if the COVID guidelines are still in place. But police have been providing them protection. We are here, we are walking freely to see you, and they are stopping us. As Honorable Mujiche said, they were now even encouraging us to walk, telling us to park our vehicles and walk. Yet they refused you to walk. So all the double standards that the police and that the regime has been carrying out as it further entrenches itself in power must stop. And we are here to stand with you. All of us here have a following. We have to mobilize our people. Because I was in the constituency just yesterday. I stood to greet people in church, and they told me, first tell us about the price of soap. You first tell us about fuel. Don't tell us anything. Don't even give us money in this church. First tell us about fuel. Because it's the pain of every Ugandan. And the ones who are down at rock bottom feel it the most. And yet we continue to cushion just few individuals. It must stop. So we stand together in unison with you. We shall make sure, and we shall not stop until
% of the members of parliament are now also doing badly, because they have to pay fees, they have to buy food, they have to cater for medication. So the burden now of what government is supposed to do has gone to members of parliament. So members of parliament have become governments of sorts. And so the anger is now directed to members of parliament. So when you hear members of parliament speak with anger, it is because of what they are going through. So I want at this time to call you to address us and receive us
Doctor,
officially.
before you rise, I should actually invite you. We just put together a few resources. We could do better than this, but the police even made it difficult to bring what we had brought. Yes. So we just have some little matoke, a few fruits to feed you and the household. But we recognize that not even this is enough. The most important thing is that you must be freed, because that is incomparable to any other thing. So I'd like to invite you to address us, and please accept our gifts. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm truly overwhelmed by your presence, your gesture, and your words. Because since Thursday last week, I only saw and spoke to the first person yesterday when the lawyers got here. And you are now the second that I am seeing. I'm truly grateful for